Joining us now is the Commissioner General of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, Pierre Krahenbuhl. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
One of your facilities, a UN school that has been sheltering thousands of people, was attacked this morning. What do you know about what happened?
Well, having talked with my colleagues in the ground in Gaza since 10:45 this morning, when the strike occurred in the immediate vicinity of one of our schools in Gaza, and in Rafah specifically, which is sheltering 3,000 displaced people from the conflict, it is confirmed that we have multiple deaths and injuries, both outside and inside the school ground. The strike itself hit just in front of the main gate, or in the immediate proximity of the main gate, and coming in the aftermath of a series of incidents, of shelling incidents in recent weeks, and most recently the shelling of our school in Jabalia, which provoked an outcry and was clearly and unreservedly condemned by UNRWA and myself publicly. This is, of course, another incident that generates both shock and disbelief at the fact that it can happen again.
Well, as you mentioned, this is the second attack on a UN school in just the past week, and I believe the sixth attack on a UN facility since this conflict began. Are your facilities protecting members of Hamas?
Look, I think what you have to get a sense of is we have 250,000 people now sheltered in our schools as a result of the intensity of the conflict that is going on in Gaza. Some of these people have received instructions from the Israeli Defense Forces to leave areas that they were living in. Others fled the fighting. And because we have numerous school buildings throughout the Gaza Strip, we have been able to accommodate them in about 90 school buildings. And so this is very clear under international law that these are premises that are protected, the sanctity of which have to be respected by all parties. And so, of course, when they are shelled, it is something that is unacceptable in any sense. Now, we have also had incidents, and these were 3, where in the course of inspections that we carried out, we identified weapons caches that were in the premises, something that we made known to the world in a very proactive and transparent way, because those ways of endangering our premises by placing weapons in them are unacceptable, and we condemned them unreservedly. Mm-hmm. But clearly, nobody can suggest that because weapons are found in one premise, this can be in any sense a justification for shelling other schools and endangering the lives of displaced people in the middle of a war zone.
Well, as you know, there is great concern about children who have died in these attacks, yet Israel says that Hamas is using civilians, children, as human shields. Is that what you found?
What we've found and what we know is that when armed forces, be it in this case the Israeli Defense Force, or non-state armed groups as the groups present inside Gaza, all of them are bound by rules of international law and humanitarian law which regulate the way in which military operations and combat is taking place in any conflict around the world. And in the case of Gaza, because of its very densely populated environment, all of these military operations have a great risk of endangering the civilians. And that is the case for all of the actors involved. Yes, there are certainly behaviors that expose the population on the ground by militant groups that operate close to civilian premises. But certainly, if you look at the extent of the damage, the extent of the physical destruction, but also the extent of the loss of human life, and I witnessed that myself visiting this week the pediatric ward in the main hospital in Gaza, seeing the broken bodies of the children there, there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that insufficient measures of precaution and control and protection are being taken, including by the Israeli Defense Force when engaging in Gaza. And the message I've heard repeatedly this week by civilians in Gaza is that they don't feel safe anywhere. And what they've been saying to me is, if we're not safe in an UNRWA school building, where are we going to be safe?
Commissioner Krahenbuhl, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.